We are the representative team from Peking University. This is Zhou En'er, this is Han Hao, this is Su Xin, and my name is Hou Jiayi. We are all from a generation that is faced with the post-08 financial crisis environment. That is a very competitive environment. Therefore, we think that it is very important for us to, once in a while, step back, take a stop, and look at what's going on in the world, and look at what we are, and think about how we're going to stay competitive. And it is also the same for the company, Lenovo, especially for Lenovo, in such a competitive industry that is faced with a lot of prominent structural changes. And therefore, it is a great pleasure for us to use the same method to present the protect and attack strategy for Lenovo, the company. The agenda of our presentation is as follows: situation analysis, strategy, as well as evaluation. When we first take a look at the industry is now consolidated according to a 2012 report into what is called a smart connected device, abbreviated as SCD industry, which is comprised of PC, personal computer, laptop, smartphone, as well as tablets. And the prominent structural change here is that according to the shipment percentage change in 2012, smartphone and tablets are obviously growing, and PC and laptops, as traditional SCDs, are shrinking. And we can also take a look at the competitive landscape here, as the top 5 producers of SCD are Apple, Samsung, Lenovo, the company, HP, as well as Dell, where Apple and Samsung focus mainly on the new smartphones and tablets. And when we take a look at the company, we can see that Lenovo is a traditional Wintel PC manufacturer focusing on China's market. And it is famous for its acquisition of IBM's PC business, valued at $1.28 billion in 2004. We have summarized and looked at ourselves and summarized that the core competitiveness of the company is low cost because of the low labor cost in China, while the company can enjoy economies of scale. And secondly, strong distribution channel. It has mimicked the direct channel from Dell, the company, to distribute its products so that it has a very quick turnover rate. Thirdly, because Liu Shanzhi and Yang Yuanqing are both very famous and prestigious characters in China's business world, the company has plenty of resources and access to new opportunities. However, the company has recently suffered from a lack of brand recognition, which reduces its price premium. The objective of our strategy is, first, to reinforce the dominant position in China, and secondly, to capture new market share in rising segments as well as rising markets. And the question is the protect and attack strategy still useful here? And our answer is definitely yes, because we think that no matter what situation you are in, the protect and attack strategy can help you leverage your advantage and capture new opportunities. However, we have established a vision for the company, that is, Lenovo should become a global brand and build its own brand recognition worldwide. Here is a quick overview of the strategy. By applying the Ansoff matrix, we can clearly identify what we're going to protect and what we're going to attack. We're going to protect the traditional PC industry. We're going to attack the new SCD devices apart from PCs. And market-wise, we're going to protect the China and already existing emerging markets, and we're going to attack the new emerging markets where the percentage is below 10%, as well as the North America. However, for the long term, we also developed a legend strategy for the company to realize our vision. And now presenting our protect and attack strategy.
So now I will present our strategy about how to protect our Chinese PC market. The Chinese market is of great significance to our company. Currently there are about 40% of annual sales from the Chinese market. And also there is a great potential from this market. Annually the market grows at 54%, and our corporate has gained an annual growth of 54% of annual growth in the Chinese market. So we think it's great importance to protect our Chinese PC market. But how do we protect it? We think basically we divided our customers into 3 categories, and we try to offer our strategies for each category. To start with, we try to offer some strategies to the tier 1 and 3 cities. They are the most currently important customers of our computer customers. So what are our target customers? We think they are the frequent users of our current PCs, and they have been very sophisticated at knowing what kind of computer they have, and we try to offer them a new and updated computers for their specially needed personal needs. Then how do we offer such kind of offers? We try to rebuild our distribution channels, and we can offer more online stores. In online stores, the customers can personalize what kind of computers they want, and also this kind of online stores can reduce our operational costs. As we all know, it needs to spend a lot of capital expenditures to maintain our stores in these major cities, and if we move them to the online, we can gain a lot of capital reduces. And also, we think the brand awareness of in the top cities, in the major cities, have been already existing in this market. So we do not think it will cause a great problem here. For the tier 4 and 6 cities, which are quite relatively small cities in China, even including some villages, how do we target these customers? Here we think the customers are some kind of new users. Now let's imagine what kind of person who has never used computer before will try to use a computer. And we think some of them maybe some like college students who have seldom used their computers in their high schools, but they tend to use their computers in their university schools. So we can offer some specific design promotion plans for these students. Like we can cooperate with some universities and offer a certain discount to these students. And also, we can give some education activities and try to increase the awareness of our brand in these new users. And also, we think we can design a new distribution channels in these cities. Currently, we distribute all of our PC computers in the tier 4 and 6 cities by some distributors. So we think it's not good for our brand awareness, especially for these tier 4 and 6 cities, since they have relatively limited knowledge in the PC industry. So which different from the tier 1 to 3 cities, we try to offer and increase more brick and mortar stores in this kind of cities. We understand that this may be some increasing capital cost in here, but since we can reduce our budget in the tier 1 and 3 cities, we can use the budget here to increase more stores. And last but not least, another important category of our customers are large corporate clients. Actually, Lenovo has already concluded that one of its great success in China is because of the corporate clients. And we think there is a kind of road dependency for the large corporate clients, because once we get a long-term relationship with them, we know more about them than our competitors. So there is very likely we can maintain our relationship with these large corporations. And also we try to provide a one-stop service for them, so they do not need to look for other competitors. We can offer a one-stop for all service for these large clients. So here is the basic strategy about how do we protect our existing Chinese market. Now become our attacking strategy about how to attack some emerging markets. Here we define the emerging markets as some developing countries. So what do the people in the developing countries want most about our computers, personal PCs? We think it's the low-cost product. We need to provide an efficient product which is very good at pricing, strong pricing. So how can we reduce the cost? Currently, Lenovo tries to reduce their cost by operating in China, and because of the labor cost, it has been a great profit. But this is how we are doing in the past. Things have significantly changed recently with the rising labor cost in China. We think we can partnership with local factories in the South China and move further south to some less developed country. Here, we not only cut our production costs, but also we can increase our local sales. On the one hand, this is because we increased our existence and awareness in some of these countries, and also we can see the resources our local partners have. We can get more resources on our suppliers and distributors. So this is our strategy about how we can attack emerging markets. Now we are our strategy about how to attack new products.
Okay. Up to now, we mainly focused on how to make use of our existing strengths in China, especially the PC industry, to expand our business into the emerging market. However, given the fact that the global market size for PCs and laptops has been flat or even shrinking, recently, we do not think highly concentrating on the PC market can be sufficient to support the long-term development of Lenovo. And years ago, IBM sold the PC business to Lenovo and converted itself to be a solution provider. And we do not think Lenovo should be that radical, but we do think Lenovo this time should be visionary and enter the SCD business before it is too late. Okay, so that is our second strategy, to attack the new product and create a L ecosystem. So what is L ecosystem? L ecosystem is similar to the practice of Apple, where we have one operation system and all the devices of our company can operate on. And therefore, in order to pursue the L ecosystem strategy, we need to consider how to produce our product and which system to be used. We will address these two concerns respectively. First of all, from the perspective of hardware, we can either to produce our devices by our own MIDH group, or we can outsource to or even acquire Nokia and BlackBerry to produce our devices. However, even Nokia and we all know that Nokia and BlackBerry has been shrinking rapidly these years, and they may have the incentive to sell their business to Lenovo. However, Lenovo just invested $800 billion in Wuhan to establish a new factory to produce the smartphones. So we do not, and so therefore acquiring Nokia and BlackBerry would create extra capacity for Lenovo. So we don't think outsource or acquire Nokia or BlackBerry is a good option. Therefore, we recommend Lenovo to make use of MIDH group to produce the devices of Lenovo. And secondly, from the perspective of software, there are mainly 4 operating systems used by smartphones. That is iOS of Apple, Android of by Google, Microsoft by Microsoft, and ARM by BlackBerry. And for the iOS, we all know that the iOS is exclusively used by Apple, and it's a very valuable asset of Apple. So we do not think we can approach to Apple and get the permission of Apple to use this system. So no. And for Android, Android takes up to 70% market share of the operating system in the smartphones. That means we have a lot of homogeneous product in the market. And also, Google just launches its own smartphones just years ago, I think. And so if we use the Android system, we would meet with fierce competition in the market. So we do not think Android is a good option. As for the ARM, BlackBerry takes up a minor percentage of the smartphone, and the new system issued by BlackBerry did not get a warm market reaction, so we don't think ARM is a good option. As for the Microsoft launched its own operating system about 2 years ago, and after that it has formed a partnership with Nokia. However, Nokia has been shrinking, and I think Microsoft has the incentive to find another partner. And we all know Lenovo is the biggest smartphone vendor in China. So maybe we can approach to Microsoft and use the Microsoft operation system. Now we have the protect and attack strategy of our whole strategy package. However, this strategy can generate the short-term competitive advantage for our company, and admittedly, it can be easily imitated by other companies. Therefore, the key is how to create the long-term competitive advantage. And we propose with this the L solution. The L solution means we make use of the cloud technology in the IT world, and also the existing strength of Lenovo in server business. Therefore, we can open one personal account for each customer of Lenovo. Therefore, they can have access to all the information and preference online but on every device of Lenovo, the computers, the smartphones, the tablets, at every location where they which have access to internet. And we think our solution can, for one thing, could improve the brand image of Lenovo to become to become the leader in the industry. And secondly, it can also increase the customer loyalty, because if you buy the Lenovo computer, you will need the Lenovo smartphone to have access to the information or documents. And therefore, that's all our strategy package proposed for Lenovo.
All right, so since we have already stated our overall strategy, we're going to make an assessment of it just to make sure that it's suitable, feasible, and acceptable. And first, if we look at the suitability of our general strategy, we can see that it's in accordance with Lenovo's long-term goal. Actually, we have two strategies. First is attack strategy, and second is protect strategy. And for attack strategy, because the personal computer industry is on a decline, and so that we should shift our focus to smartphones and TVs, and to generate a boom there. And actually, about the emerging markets, we can see that it's on a boom, and we can see more opportunities there, so that we should focus on that and attack that market. And about our own capability, we can see that we have low-cost capability, we have low-cost overheads and low-cost inventories, and we also have strong distribution networks generally according to the whole world, so that these capabilities will help us to generate profit in the future. And about our product strategy, we can see that we have 50% in the Chinese market, and China is our heritage market. So that we think that, generally speaking, our strategy is in accordance with Lenovo's long-term goal. That is to make a global brand and to increase the competitiveness of the company. And then we're going to look at the acceptability of our strategy. And actually, we focus mainly on two parts. The first, the return, and the second, the risk of the strategy. And actually, we can see from this chart that things will build more presence and capabilities within the emerging markets that will increase our capex. So that we think it will, in the short term, it will first eat a little bit of our margin, and then we think that in the long term, it will boom our profit in the long term. And if we move on to the risk and control part, we can see that based on a simple scenario analysis, we can see that our major risk is a partnership with Microsoft. Whether Microsoft will accept our offer and will make a partnership with us, if the answer is no, that we recommend Lenovo to invest more and focus on the research and development within the company. And in the long term, we think that Lenovo should seek for more partnerships with more software companies to make sure that they can help generate ecosystem. And finally, about the feasibility of our strategy, we're going to see that whether the company has enough resources to carry out our strategy. And actually, we can see that about the capital part, the company have enough fundings, have a good global management team, and powerful CEOs. I think that with these resources, the company can carry out our strategy successfully. And we can see also from this graph, see that how the company going to implement its strategy. And we think that from this timeline, it can carry out this strategy successfully. Actually, we think that in the short term, the company's focus should be on the protection of the Chinese market, which is its domain, and also should attack more globally. Like first, our priority is the emerging market, and then go internationally. And in the long term, we think that the company should develop its ecosystem just like Apple. And finally, we think in the generally long term, if the company can develop its AI solution, it can become a more powerful company in the future than it's just now. So this is all about our strategy, and we think that within this framework, the company can generate the success in the future. Thanks for listening.
Strategy overview that is unfolding. So one would be existing new market and existing
Oh.
new product. So new product, new market would be, you mentioned the L ecosystem.
We define the new products as the products that have a small proportion in the current product portfolio. That is the SEB's apart from personal computers, including smartphones, tablets, as well as like smart TVs. And market-wise, we define the new markets as emerging markets where we have market share below 10%, as well as the U.S. market where we have a current market share of only 7%. That is how we categorize the strategies market-wise as well as product-wise.
And you already have existing. That existing China, the CD, you mentioned as a new product.
Yes.
Categorized as a new product. But you already have some sales in that area.
Yes,
So
some
this
sales.
is, yeah.
Yeah.
But you want to expand more in that area.
Yes. That is why we define those new products as products that have a very low proportion of our current revenue portfolio.
Less than 10%, actually. The non-PC business of Lenovo accounts for less than 1% of Lenovo existing macro product portfolio. The whole target has a new product.
And why you believe that that China is the major market that you still want to protect the PC?
Because currently about 40% of the annual revenue are sold made in China, and there is great potential growth in the Chinese market. According to the data, the market of China personal computer is growing at a rate of about 47% annually. And Lenovo has captured growth at a percent of 57 is above the average of the market growth. So we think there is still great potential in the Chinese market. And just as you mentioned, there is a lot of potential in the tier 4 and 6 cities in China. There is currently very low percent of people using computers, and we think there is still market potential. And also, a lot of business of Lenovo is currently operating in China. And although it has no operations center or headquarters, we think China will always be an important part of the Lenovo group.
So why will you believe that the overall global PC market is dropping, but then there's still potential to grow in China?
The historical statistics has already reported that Lenovo's business in China has surpassed the market performance, as was quoted in the case. And we also believe that with the market share increasing in China, we can cover the slow decrease in the market growth rate in the PC industry, because we think that Lenovo, while the company can leverage its strengths in China because of abundant resources as well as low cost and strong distribution, Lenovo can capture even more market share in China. And that's why we set this as our the first priority and our objective, that is to maintain and reinforce the dominant position in the Chinese geographical market.
You mentioned from the first couple of slides that you mentioned about brand image. So how do you plan to ensure that the brand image with the, I guess, audience are taking the products and devices, and how do you have to consider brand?
Yes. Thank you very much for your question. We were just discussing while we were preparing. I think it was incorporated in our L solution, which my name is Empire solution. That is, we would like to, but this is of course up to the board of directors choice as well as the management choice. But we would propose that the Lenovo go back to Legend, which is a more widely accepted brand name for the company as well as its products. And also, because the problem Lenovo's brand is faced with now is that the brand names are too fragmented in terms of different products. Like they have ThinkPad, they have IBM's on the products, as well as they also have Lenovo label on the products. But we would like to unify this whole concept and to make it a theme of our Legend ecosystem, and also with our L solution, where L stands for Legend. But this is of course up to the board of directors' direction. That's my answer to it.
All those data, what do they need?
Alright, so thank you for the question. Actually, this is a consolidated net income statement of our prediction. And actually, the first line is revenue of our prediction. And the second is the growth rate of revenue. And then is net income and the net profit margin. And we think that because of the build-up of the presence and the capabilities within the emerging markets, the company will face shoots up within the capex part, so that it will eat the company's margin within the short term. But for the long term, it will help the company to boom its profitability.
So could you turn on actually 2011?
2011.
From 2012 onward, you have
Oh,
projection.
yeah. The first 3 years is the company has already give that statistics, and the last 3 years is our prediction.
Can you have a plan B if the LED system and have solutions doesn't work? And as you said, as you mentioned, Microsoft wants to be equal partners, and what's what are the other options about?
Thank you for the question. Actually, our first priority is the company should invest more and focus more on its own research and development. Since it has a lot of funding, it's a big company, and that's our priority. And we think that for the long term, it can still seek for partnerships with like Microsoft or other software companies to make sure that it's consolidated and it's an ecosystem.
And also, just like we mentioned in our presentation, I think Microsoft has some kind of incentive to increase its market share in this like smartphones, like PCs. I think it has some incentive, so we have great confidence that we can probably get some kind of cooperation or partnership with Microsoft. And also, as we mentioned, so that's maybe another important reason why we still want to keep the Chinese market, we still want to keep the PC market. Because before we launch this kind of long-term project, we need enough to make sure that we can handle some kind of risk in the future.
No more questions?
Thank you.
No. Let's thank the students with a round of applause.